Hey everyone, you're with Noor here, and welcome to another video on the channel. It's been a long time since I last uploaded on this channel, and that's simply because I've been busy working, just like everyone else there. And now that I've gotten some downtime as we approach the end of the year, I thought I'd make a video or two that is relative to recoverpreneurship and how you can actually best utilize your skill sets to seek an alternative position away from entrepreneurship, yet still achieve the income of your dreams. And the topic of today's video is to do with simply playing your position. Okay. And this is really important because when you are able to play your position effectively, you can really make a lot of money. You can build a fantastic network, and you can put yourself in a position to succeed in the long term and even set yourself up to go number one down the line if that is something that you do want to do. So, this is what we're going to cover in today's video, and we're going to get into a bit more detail with different things associated with playing your position and why it's something that's extremely important, especially for those of you with a bit of an ego where you're constantly saying to yourself, I need to be number one, I want to be number one, and yada yada yada. And you're number one, but the bank account is just not mirroring the bank account of someone that is number one. Okay, so this is going to be an interesting video, and it may hit home for a lot of you because these are basically points that I had to swallow myself when I was transitioning from trying my hand at my own thing to now being in a position where I am not a business owner and I have to play a different position, yeah, I'm still able to bring enough value to the business to still earn a decent income, which allows me to live a great life. So, the first point that I want to cover here is to simply tell you that not everyone is cut out to be a number one. And guess what? That is okay. A lot of people, especially in the online climate right now, they try to jump into entrepreneurship with no previous background, no experience, no whatsoever, other than simply relying on, an online course they took. And that is completely viable. It can still work depending on the quality of course, coaching, and mentorship that you are given. However, with a lot of people, they're simply not cut out to be at the top. They're simply not cut out to run a business as they may lack the necessary grit, determination, and overall life experience needed to succeed at the top. Okay. And that is perfectly fine. Everyone assumes nowadays that, to run a business, you've got to run it from the very start, and you're not allowed to have a job. You're not allowed to work in any other positions. The only way you can run a business successfully is to start it from the ground up, and you're not allowed to have worked anywhere else. And this was my ignorant view when I first started my agency, because after graduating, I did not go to any corporate jobs or graduate schemes like this. I just went straight to running my agency because I thought, hey, this is the only way to do it. When in reality, guys, um, not everyone is cut out to be a number one from the get go. Okay. A lot of people who succeed in entrepreneurship, in being number one the first time round, they have previous experience, whether it's inside business or even in their personal life in different areas where they've had the ability to express leadership, resilience. They faced hard times and they've been able to get through all the nitty gritty stuff in other areas of their life, which makes business a piece of cake. There's a lot of people out there that have not experienced this, like myself, for example, where, prior to trying to run a business, I wasn't that skilled, okay, and therefore it was like a blender, and it was a serious learning curve for me, which I was really grateful for. But here's the thing: not everyone is cut to be number one from the top, and that's perfectly fine, okay. Sometimes you need to develop those necessary skills, have that life experience before you can actually succeed as a number one. Now, here's a caveat to this: not everyone is cut out to be a number one, but you can still succeed if you're willing to grind it out, if you're willing to fail forward, and if you're willing to, you know, get the relevant training in place to put you in a position where you can succeed. Okay. The alternative that I'm preaching, however, is rather than just, go down that hard route of trying to figure out on your own, you have the option of, for example, getting a job, picking up some experience, leveraging that experience in your business whenever you're ready. Okay, I've seen loads of people do it. And as a result, they run incredibly thriving businesses where they find it very easy because of the level of experience that they had as an employee, for example, before transitioning over to a business. So that's really important to note. The next point I want to cover is simply talking about how, when you try to play out of position, things tend to fall apart. Okay. When you're trying to, be a number one and being at the top and being this, CEO, and I do quotation marks because it's just not, you're a CEO, but it's just, it's just you. It's a one man army. And that's perfectly fine, by the way. You're trying to play out of position. You don't have the necessary experience. You don't have the confidence. You don't have the identity. You've got imposter syndrome. You're living a lie on a day to day basis. It's just difficult to operate. It's almost like I'm preaching to myself. When I first started, right, things will naturally tend to fall apart because it's just a business and position built out of inauthenticity, and that authenticity, it comes from having the experience and being able to fail forward and not let those failures completely derail your pursuit to success. Okay, so the point here being is that, again, you can still succeed as a number one, but sometimes when you're trying to play that number one position, when you're not primed to be number one, it can be very difficult. And when you're not executing things properly, things around you tend to fall apart. Okay, so it's really important to know. The next point I want to cover is simply highlight the notion of the fact that you can earn a lot of money as a number two, three, four, five, six, 10, 20, etc., etc. Okay, so on a personal level, the money that I set out to achieve when I was running an agency, for example, I'm now able to achieve it as a number three. Okay, someone who runs the operations of another business. So I get to earn the money that I wanted to earn as a business owner without having to, have the stress of a business owner. I don't need to have the stress of managing a crazy team. I don't need to wake up to client requests. I don't need to wake up to, problems, and I'm the guy that needs to make the decisions which affects everyone else's. Now, bear in mind, I do have a relatively, um, you know, stressful job at times because it's just part of the package, but it's not something that I go to sleep thinking about because I'm able to switch off. Because guess what, I'm not the number one. I'm still actively thinking about work, to be truthful with you, because I'm fully invested in the company and the growth, and my position requires it. But I'm not invested to the point where I sleep with anxiety or craze or anything like a business owner would. Okay, yet I'm still able to make a decent penny without having the business owner stress. And this comes back to the topic I made, the video I made a while back on this channel, where it was to do with making business owner money without having to be a business owner. It's completely possible. And when we get a bit more specific, in terms of what you define as a business owner money, it could be six figures, because that's what a lot of people, in our line of work, the 10K a month, that's the first stream, and anything beyond that for a lot of people is a massive bonus. And you can easily earn 10K a month and above, or even around that figure, by not having to run your own business. Okay, so it's really important to note that you can earn a lot of money, not just as a number two, three, four, five, six, but even as a 10 or 20. Okay, there are sales reps, for example, where they are making anywhere between 10 to 20K a month simply selling on a complete commission only basis. Okay, and they just wake up, they get on the calendar, and they have 8 to 10 calls back to back to back, Monday to Friday, sometimes even Saturday, depending on how the company's structured, and they're able to take home five figures a month. No stress of a business owner, no costs, no expenses, nothing like that. And that is depending on the size of the company, you can go as far as saying that's a number 10 position, number 20 position. You get the drift. The point I'm trying to make is play your position, because you can earn a lot of money playing a position that isn't number one. Okay. And it's really important to remember, because a lot of people think that running a business is the only way to achieve the income and lifestyle that they desire to have, when in reality, they don't understand that the amount that they set out to achieve isn't as big as they thought it would be. And thus, a position which doesn't involve, being a business owner, can still be a more valued route to go down to achieve that amount in question. Okay, super important. Next point, figure out your magic number and see if you need to be number one to achieve it. So, this is really important because, again, this is in relation to another video I made on this channel, where it's to do with how much do you desire to earn? The magic question that everyone needs to ask, because when you actually start to map out how much your dream lifestyle costs and you put a number on it, you actually realize it's far less than you initially thought. Because a common misconception that a lot of people have is that they assume they need millions in the bank to be happy and to live their dream lifestyle, when actually, once you boil down the cost of your desired house you want, the cars, the lifestyle, all these different things, and you put it down to a monthly figure, it comes down to something that's, it's probably still quite high, but it's nowhere near the millions range. Okay, one entrepreneur I follow, for example, he's his dream house, his dream car, his dream boat, his dream life, basically, which he now has. It costs him under 30K a month, and he makes over, with his business, around like 700K a month. Okay, and that's not take home, by the way, that's revenue. I don't know the ins and outs of his business, but the point I'm trying to make is his business makes a lot of money, yet his dream lifestyle costs around 30K a month or so. Okay, so the point being here is, you want to figure out your magic number, and then you can see if you need to be a number one to achieve it. So in some cases, right, maybe you do need to be a number one to achieve your, or to live your dream lifestyle, where you may want things that will require hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month. Okay, you may have a massive mansion, a crazy amount of cars, a private jet, all these different things, right? Where being a number two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, whatever it may be, another cog in the machine, it may not necessarily be cut it for you, and that's perfectly fine. But for many of you guys out there, where you figured out your magic number, and it turns out to be something like, anywhere between 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, even 30K a month, right? You may not necessarily need to be a number one to achieve it. Okay, and I've seen this firsthand, and I've also been able to, be fortunate enough to be in the position I'm in, where I've come to the realization that to earn the money that you desire to earn, it doesn't always require you to be a business owner. I'd go as far as saying that you can even achieve it as an employee, not just in this funky online world of ours, but even on a corporate level, depending on the right companies you're in and the positions you're in, you can even achieve it as an employee. Okay, another thing tied to this is, don't just look at the number, look at the lifestyle that you desire. So this is really important, because a lot of people assume that they need to be a business owner to live the lifestyle that they desire, but actually, once you figure out your magic number, that alone will help you understand whether you need to be a business owner. But number two, when you get more specific on your lifestyle, right? A lot of people don't mind working Monday to Friday and having the weekend off. A lot of people don't mind having a holiday once a quarter. Okay, and I say don't mind. A lot of people would love that. Okay, a lot of people, you know, don't want the crazy lifestyle of holidays every day, doing whatever you want, and all this stuff. They just want structure. They want time with their family. They want peace of mind. They want all these different things. And that's why it's really important to look at the lifestyle you desire as well as the number, because the lifestyle, for example, the lifestyle of a business owner, you may not necessarily want that when it comes to dealing with the stress, making those crazy decisions, managing a team, managing a team's family now that you got to feed, and because you're responsible for so many different employees who have families, and you got to make hard decisions every single day. There's a lot of pressure on you, etc., etc. It's good money. It may match your number, but you may not necessarily want the lifestyle. So that's why it's really important to also look at the lifestyle you desire, because again, the lifestyle you desire can also be achieved um, by number two, three, four, five, six, by basically playing a different position. Okay. The last point I want to make in this video is this dodgy quote that I've just made up on the spot. And hopefully it'll make sense when I explain it. Pawns and knights don't have to be forever. You can take the crown if you desire, only when you are ready. If you desire to, only when you are ready. And I absolutely butchered the execution of that, and it did not sound as good as it did in my head. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the number one spot is being the king, or from a chess standpoint, I think it's the queen. But whatever it is, right? I'm going to speak from the context of a king in this regard, right? Because I'm assuming like it's mainly males that would watch this video, and obviously if you're a female watching this, then we can use the context of a queen as well. But the point being, you don't have to be a number two, three, four, five, six, seven, whatever it may be, forever. It's not for life, okay? Like I said at the start of the video, not everyone is cut out to be a number one. So you adopt a different position, you maximize the value of that position, and you may have your dream lifestyle, your dream income as a result, without having to endure the stress of a business owner. However, if it turns out you want a new challenge, you probably want to make more money, you want a different lifestyle, and you just want to take things to the next level because you're getting too comfortable, you can evolve and you can put yourself in a position where you do get into that number one spot, where you do take the crown and you're better primed to be a number one. Okay. A lot of people think they have to be a number two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, whatever it may be, and they're in that spot forever, and that's it. They're not allowed to be a business owner again or whatever it may be. And it's also the same for business owners, okay? That's what this whole channel's about. A lot of people think they have to be stuck running their own business, and that's it. They're tied down to their business, even if it's successful, but they're miserable. They're tied down to it because they can't do anything else. I've seen so many business owners shut down their business to take up sales roles, to take up setting roles, to even go as far as just taking up a higher position in different jobs, okay? Because they simply did not love the lifestyle that being a business owner brought them, and it was no longer about money for them. Vice versa, I've seen loads of people that are recoverpreneurs, for example, where they are in the positions where they've left their business, they've found something else, they've succeeded in a different position, and they leverage the experience and skill set they have to return to running a business and operate it in a more successful manner. So the point I'm trying to make here is that no position is eternal, and don't feel that you need to handcuff yourself to a certain position. You can always evolve and you can always transition depending on what you as an individual want. Okay, so that's super important to note because nothing is forever and you can adapt. Okay, and the benefit of recoverpreneurship and not going for, not opting in to be a business owner straight off the bat, or failing as a business owner and evolving into recoverpreneurship, is that you can pick up the appropriate skills, experience, and network necessary to succeed as a number one, so that when you do become a number one, or when you evolve into a number one and you're ready to wear the crown, that crown fits a lot more comfortably and there's no sense of imposter syndrome and you wear it very, very well. Okay. So super, super important to remember. But yeah, that's pretty much the video, guys. That's the importance of playing your position, because you can make a lot of money if you play your position correctly and you play it with pride. And it can also set you up for a long-term future, regardless of whether you wanted to stay in that position or evolve into something else. So hopefully you found this video valuable. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.